Hello, everyone, and welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Transportation System.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Double Dose of Disney podcast. As always, my name is Brittany, and I am joined here by my Coronado Springs love-in husband, Tony. This week on the podcast, we are having some fun and hoping that you play along too. We're going to play a game of Would You Rather Walt Disney World Edition. And there's so many different options of different things you can do, and none of them are like right or wrong answers. So we're going to share what we would rather do here, and we can't wait to hear yours on social. So, as always, be sure to give us a follow on Double Dose of Disney Fam on Instagram and TikTok if you already aren't, because each week on Wednesdays when the podcast comes out, we're asking questions and stories like, what do you think of the podcast, or different things like that go along with each episode. So, you ready to get into it?
Ready.
Let's
the
do
Coronado Springs husband. Interesting you say that. May or may not be in one of my topics today.
Ooh. So you want to go first?
I'll go first. This is
Okay.
a big one. So these are would you rather or just pick one or the other.
Yeah.
In my mind, if I'm at a park or whatever I'm doing, if you only had one choice, this is how I viewed it. You can't do the other one.
Right.
Is it?
That's would you rather.
Okay. Well, I saw it different.
Well, Tony will give me ideas for the podcast sometimes, just like behind the scenes thing. Tony will give me ideas for the podcast. And then I come up with like, oh, this is how we're going to say it. And I'll kind of create this script or whatever. And he's like, no. And I'm like, but it's the same thing. It's just worded differently.
We're driving on different tracks, but we're in the same place. Would you rather?
Go.
If you only had one, would you rather watch Fantasmic or Happily Ever After? Fantasmic
Ooh.
at Hollywood Studios, just kind of newish that came back. Kinda.
It's not newish, but yeah, newish returning
Happily
after
Ever
COVID.
After came back somewhat.
Happily Ever After came back after the 50th anniversary.
Only get to watch one
If I
show.
only got to watch
I already know the
one
answer what you're gonna
show,
say, just because this was a good one, it was a good one.
I would say Fantasmic.
Fantasmic.
Yeah. Why? You thought I was going to say Happily Ever
I didn't
After?
even think that was going to be a thought. I thought, yeah, Happily Ever After, you love to cry to every sentence.
So, yes.
Fantasmic, you just scream to.
Happily Ever After at Magic Kingdom is a great show. I love that show. I listen to the music all the time. I will text Tony when I'm on hold with Disney for a client, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting to listen to Happily Ever After. But Fantasmic is all about my main man, Mickey.
So you would skip and be fine and not sing Happily Ever After on a trip to Disney?
I don't think I would be fine with either, but in this, yes.
The only reason you're picking a Fantasmic is because of Hollywood Studios.
No, the only reason I'm picking Fantasmic is because of Mickey. So we had never gotten to see Fantasmic before. Like when we went to Disney in 2020, in February, they canceled Fantasmic that night because of it was high wind, and so they couldn't do the show. And then it didn't return again until late 2022. So we got to see it in 2023. And I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but the opening scene, like, Mickey has been my best friend my entire life, and the opening scene when Mickey...
Other than your imaginary friend.
Hey, I had an imaginary friend before my brother was born.
So he died off.
Literally. Yeah, that's a whole other story. I had an imaginary friend when I was like 4. My brother is actually named after my imaginary friend, which is weird to think about. My imaginary friend's name is Ty. My brother's name is Tyler. Anyway.
Moving on.
But when, like, Mickey, I've loved Mickey my entire life. The opening scene of Fantasmic, it's all about Mickey and this, like, nightmare and fantasy that he's like, this dream that he's having. And he's overcoming basically, like, I took it as he's overcoming, like, all of these lies and these nightmares. I loved it, and I absolutely sobbed. At the end of the show, there were people sitting behind us, and the guy, like, patted Tony on the back and was like, what did he tell you? Like...
I don't know what he told me, but he's like, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, and Tony was like, you have no idea. So
you don't know Fantasmic has water effects and it has fireworks, but not a lot.
it also has a lot of live actors,
Happily Ever After,
a lot of characters and stuff like that. So with that said, I would pick Fantasmic.
I'd be Happily Ever After.
Really?
Yep. It's just kind of
You would skip Fantasmic?
Yeah, I like it, but it's not. It just, I don't know. There's just so much more in Happily Ever After. All the projections is just.
Yeah, and you're at the castle, and you have
1,000
more
times more
fireworks. Yeah,
all
that's true.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. Well, we'll agree to disagree on that one. Okay.
It's not right or wrong. It's just a preference.
No, you're right.
Tell us what you want to do if you're there.
Would you rather go to Disney for 4 days and stay at the Poly?
You would do confusing questions.
Or do 8 days at Disney and stay at Pop? So
that's easy for us, for me, because we haven't been there. So it might be the first in Polynesian.
You would take half of a length of a trip just to stay at the Poly?
Yep.
Oh.
Haven't stayed there. We want to stay there.
I know. But I think
it depends on, too, if we have somebody else's money, too. As if we were staying there 8 days, we would be really broke. But if we had somebody else's money, is that part of the question?
No, if we were there for 8 days, we're staying at Pop. If we're there for 4 days, we're staying at the Poly.
Absolutely, Poly.
You still do the Poly.
Because then we get back, man, I still want to stay at Poly. Never been.
True, and we go to the Poly every trip, but I don't know. I would just rather be in Florida longer.
That's pretty much what I would assume you would say.
Yeah, I would say I would give up the Poly to be at Pop so I could be in Florida longer.
Next one.
Go.
Would you rather? And this is an all day. You've probably seen people ride rides all day. If you had to ride one all day long, would it be Big Thunder Mountain or Space Mountain? You gotta think it all in perspective. Weather, waiting in line, and the ride. What would you want to and be able to?
So obviously,
like to do all day long.
Big Thunder Mountain is outside. The line for Big Thunder Mountain is typically shorter than Space Mountain. So Space Mountain is inside, and the queue is mostly inside unless it overflows outside. Big Thunder Mountain has a shorter line, but that queue in the outside area is hot.
What if we're in February?
Oh, okay. If we're in February, I don't know.
Our typical time we go.
Space Mountain is really fun, but you're riding through the dark, so you're not seeing as much. You know what I mean?
You feel secluded from the world?
Yeah, and Big Thunder Mountain, riding it during the day is fun, but when it gets into the evening time, it's even more fun. So I would say, I don't know though. They're both my favorite. I don't know.
Your answer is?
My answer is, I'm going to go with Big Thunder Mountain. What about you? I think you get to ride it more and you'd be outside. But then the weather, true. What would you say?
I would do Space. It's just a better ride.
Yeah.
Big Thunder, once you rode it a couple times, you get the feel. There's nothing really different. Space Mountain, you could get a different track for one.
Oh, true. I didn't think about that because there's two different tracks.
Even if you're on the same track, you really don't even know what's in front of you, so it always feels like it's different.
That's true because at Disney World, Space Mountain has 2 tracks, so you could get both different tracks. That's true. Because that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, like, you're in the dark on Space Mountain, but after you rode it so many times, I feel like you would, like, muscle memory, like, know the track. But if you got 2 different tracks, then that changes it. Good point.
House divided again.
We've been divided on every single one, haven't we? Yep.
Everyone.
Would you rather skip Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom? Like if we only had a 3-day trip and we were like, we're going to 1 park per day and you had to cut 1 park. Animal Kingdom's Tony's favorite park. Hollywood Studios is mine.
They're almost neck and neck though.
What, as favorite parks?
I wouldn't want to skip either one.
I know.
If I had to pick based on all aspects, rides, food, Animal Kingdom doesn't really have they have a show, but it's not like fantastic.
You mean like an evening show? Yeah.
I guess I would say Animal Kingdom.
But I like Animal Kingdom, like the food. The food at Animal Kingdom, like I like the food. I don't know. I like the food of both.
I feel like we have more fun in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, I think we have fun at both.
I don't know. I'm just saying Animal Kingdom. That's a tough one.
Okay.
That's a true coin flip.
If you were to cut 1 park, like if we were to say like we're gonna do 3 days and we're gonna skip 1 park, what would be the park that you would suggest skipping?
I don't like this question anymore.
So Tony used to be like, we could just go to the parks for like 3 days and then
with park hoppers.
No, you were like, and we could skip one of the parks. And I was like, which one?
Epcot.
You would skip Epcot?
No, I don't want to skip any of them. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, we would get park
literally
hoppers.
have to do a coin flip and not be my decision.
No, we would get park hoppers. We would do a whole day at Magic Kingdom, a whole day at Hollywood Studios, and then park hop Animal Kingdom to Epcot.
As of this recording, the 28th. Today's 28th October.
Yeah, today's 28th.
The park hopper is about to change again.
Yeah, so you can hop at any time.
Going back to the original.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like that question.
So if I rather. Yeah, I didn't think about the fact that I'd have to answer this.
I'm picturing myself there, and I don't want to do any of that.
I guess I would skip Animal Kingdom if I had to, because Hollywood Studios, we all know that I love that one the most.
No dinosaur, no Everest.
I know,
no
and
Flight of Passage.
like with that said, Animal Kingdom has really good food. Satuli Canteen, Flame Tree Barbecue,
No safari ride
snacks, Mr. Kamal's fries.
Yeah, see, that's just horrible thinking about it.
No Dawa Bar.
Yep, the Lion King.
No Lion King. I cry every time at the Lion King. No Everest.
Sounds like a bad trip.
I know, and you know what's crazy to me is so many people skip Animal Kingdom, which is so crazy to me.
I'm
like
trying to say it's still a half day.
Like if you don't go, you
I
don't
don't hear that as much anymore.
If you don't go, you don't know. Well, when people are reaching out to me to like help plan their trips, I always like recommend like, hey,
stop listening to anybody else.
Yeah, I always recommend like go to each of the parks. Like, and if you have park hopper, you decide you don't like that park, you can hop to another one.
All
But
once for yourself first.
Because I think people think Animal Kingdom's a zoo, and it's absolutely not. Just like Disney is not a theme park in general.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote, even though it's classified as a theme park, but you know what I mean.
It's all different because it's Disney.
Exactly.
It's all more expensive because it's Disney.
And we're all suckers for it because it's Disney.
Take our savings. Take our 401k.
Take my child's first vacation.
It's going to work out somehow. All right, back to me.
Yep.
Would you rather... We got our first food here. Would you rather eat a Ronto wrap from Docking Bay 7 or tachos from Woody's Lunchbox?
Easy.
All right. So, if it wasn't your favorite, now just pick one.
What? You can't do that because it is my favorite.
Not because it, gluten. We're not talking about, I'm gluten thing.
I was also going to say, too, it depends.
Based on the food and how good it is, not what you would get because you wouldn't get the other one.
It depends on how, it's how I eat, too.
No,
like,
it's not something you can't put that in.
What?
Everybody else is not gluten. Weird.
No, I'm not saying that.
Look at the product.
Tachos are gluten-free, actually.
How good it is, not what you've ever gotten or will get.
No.
Which one's better? Which one should something?
I know, but I don't personally like tachos.
All right, so she's going to get the Ronto.
I'm going to get the Ronto. But
There's three different versions of the Ronto.
Yes, and here's the thing, though. With that said, like Tony said, it's all based off of personal preference. I like
These
lighter.
are both good.
I like lighter foods. I
Ronto's
eat like
big.
lighter. I know, but like a
Not a
lot
big
of
one,
times
but
I
big
don't
wrap.
even eat the wrap. I'll just eat like the filling in the inside.
Explain to the people what it is.
A Ronto roaster is, a Ronto wrap. You can get it at Docking Bay 7 or at Ronto Roasters. If you get the traditional one, it is a pork sausage with like very thinly shaved piece of pork chop with a slaw, like a coleslaw kind of, and like a peppercorn dressing. There's also a vegan one. I don't think we've ever gotten that one. That one's like made with like chickpeas in place of meat.
I thought we had it on. If not, that's the one we hadn't had.
And then slaw. And all of them come with a wrap. If you're gluten-free, they also have a gluten-free wrap too. And then breakfast is, I think you've gotten the breakfast one. I never have.
You get one of each, that morning.
It's like it's a pork sausage, and then it's a big piece of like, I don't want to say a big sheet of egg because that sounds gross, but that's what it is. With cheese. With cheese and like peppercorn dressing. Either way, it comes with a wrap. A lot of times, like, they have a gluten-free wrap. I'll just eat the filling out of it. But I'm weird and I like to eat like lighter meals anyway. Tony, what would you choose?
Depends on what time of day it is.
Oh.
Well, I'd probably do the tachos.
I was gonna say, I don't think it depends on what type of day it is, because you love tachos.
Get the morning or the lunch tachos.
Yeah.
I think the lunch are better. I would get the lunch tachos.
So Tony gets the tachos when
We'll order before you get there.
Our last time when we were at Hollywood Studios, I got the Rancho Roaster for breakfast, and Tony got the breakfast tachos. The tachos are served at Woody's Lunchbox. And there's the breakfast ones. What do the breakfast ones have on them?
I think it just has it's gravy, the sausage gravy versus chili.
Okay. And then it's sausage, it's tater tots with sausage gravy. It has eggs on it, right, for breakfast. And then it also has chives. And then for dinner, it
has the beef and chili, cheese, queso, and corn chips.
For dinner or lunch.
Sour cream and green onions.
Does the breakfast one have corn chips on it?
Breakfast... I don't know. That one does not, believe.
Okay.
They actually have a plant-based one, too.
Oh, they have a plant-based one?
The quotation, chili, and then cheese, green onions, corn chips served over potato barrels.
We've tried making them at home before. A few months ago we tried making them. It's
not the same.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, it was a couple of months ago when I was still pregnant, and I was like, I just want to have some fun. Let's make a fun Disney meal. And because we couldn't go to the parks, and so we made them, and I got so sick that night.
On the other hand, we've made the Rontos, and they turn out pretty good.
The Rontos, yes.
You just gotta make sure you cut that meat.
The tachos are probably good at home too. I just have a weird body. I don't know.
Moving on.
Okay. Would you rather only get to ride Pirates of the Caribbean during Happily Ever After, or
Who wants to do that?
watch Happily Ever After from the front of the castle? So let's say we go to into Magic Kingdom and Pirates of the Caribbean's down all day and they open it at night. That wouldn't happen.
So
They
you're
just
saying a
wouldn't
walk on.
open it.
Other than that, so just because it's a walk on, we're gonna go to. The
No, that's the only time you get to ride it because it's closed all day. The only time it's open is for during Happily Ever After. So you either have to miss the show and ride Pirates, or miss Pirates and watch Happily Ever After.
I'm gonna watch the show.
Oh.
Because we get to ride it later on.
All
Get to hop on it
right, Tony found a loophole. What I was meaning was you could only choose to ride it during Pirates of the Caribbean, but I see what you're saying.
All right, well, then I'm gonna ride Pirates because I'm not gonna skip it.
One time,
We can watch Happily Ever After on our phones later on YouTube.
What? Well, one time when we went to Disney, we were at Magic Kingdom, and Pirates of the Caribbean was closed all day.
I don't think it was all day, but it was a portion. We were gonna ride it.
No, it was closed all day because remember, we ended up adding a second day at Magic Kingdom. That was the day, and we went, and we rode it during it was a Super Bowl. Some people love to go to Magic Kingdom their last day, but it makes me more sad to go to Magic Kingdom at the last day.
The apex, and then you're out.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're like, I can't.
Moving on.
Oh, but I didn't answer what I would do.
All right, what are you doing?
I think I would...
You know the answer to this one. You're watching the show?
I would watch the show. I would watch a show in front of the castle. And if you have never gotten the create your own popcorn snack from Main Street Confectionery, you are missing out. I've told Tony, I was like, I miss that so much. It's,
Are you crying?
No. It's in the middle. It's on the far right-hand side of the confectionery. When you walk in, you can build your own popcorn creation. So they have several different flavors of popcorn. You can drizzle chocolate sauce
You
or
don't do anything. They
white chocolate. Yeah, they do everything for you. You just tell them what to do. And then they have different candies you can put in there, like Skittles, M&Ms, different things like that. You can also put toppings on top too. Oh my gosh, it's so good. They give it to you in a bowl now.
It's like a to-go container versus a bag, so.
Yeah, it used to be in a bag. And my plan was, last time I was like, oh, I'm just going to carry this around. I'm going to eat it during the fireworks. That obviously didn't happen. I ate it all during the day. But that's a good treat to watch the fireworks with.
So moving on to the next, would you rather stay at Coronado in the Tower?
Uh-huh.
Or Wilderness Lodge?
Ooh, that's a tough one. We've done both and we love them.
That's why I put it in there. In the Tower. This
So,
is all, and then you gotta consider the transportation and all this one, which,
that's what I'm thinking about right now.
Just the bus, Wilderness Lodge, you have the boats.
So,
And
we
you're closer to Magic Kingdom.
stayed at Coronado in 2021. So the resort was open.
We only got to do half of it.
I feel
Restaurants.
half the resorts at Disney were open at that time. And what's kind of weird to think back on is during COVID, when Disney was closed, the NBA, remember the NBA was at was at Disney? And they were in like the bubble. It was the NBA bubble. Yeah, and was it the Lakers or the Spurs that they stayed at Coronado while they were there. So Coronado actually shouldn't have reopened, but a cast member told us that it did because they had already reopened it for like the basketball players to stay there. And then when we were there, like the minor league NBA teams were staying in the Casitas area.
So would you rather stay at Coronado?
We had to give like a backup or like a backstory. But then we stayed at Wilderness Lodge in 2022. So I love Wilderness Lodge. Wilderness Lodge is my favorite deluxe resort that we've stayed at so far.
Coronado is a moderate that could be a deluxe.
And Coronado is a moderate that could be deluxe, especially if you stay in the tower. Coronado is also my favorite moderate. I'm almost leaning with staying at Coronado because when we stayed there in 2021, half of the restaurants and things weren't open. So I'd want to experience it in its full glory.
So you're saying Coronado?
Yeah, but I love the lobby of Wilderness Lodge. It's just amazing. Geyser Point's so fun. The boats to Magic Kingdom. I'll stick with Coronado.
I'm Wilderness Lodge.
Really?
I feel like there's more there.
Yeah. What do you mean more there?
Know. It just feels like there's more there.
There's less dining.
I guess maybe because of the transportation.
Yeah.
So you have 3 bridges out there in Coronado. You still have the what's Wilderness Lodge's?
Geyser Point.
Geyser Point there.
And they're pretty equal for like a more casual restaurant. They're both lounges.
You can sit by the water there. I don't know.
Wilderness
Lodge, you just feel at home.
Wilderness Lodge, the thing that I like about Wilderness Lodge is when you go to Geyser Point, like we go there even when we're not staying there. We usually go there every trip because you can sit outside on the water and you can watch Happily Ever After from outside the parks. That's really fun. Coronado has more dining. Coronado has 9 dining locations. Wilderness Lodge has Roaring Fork. They have Artist Point. They have Whispering Canyon. They have Geyser Point. So they have like half.
These are tough.
But
tomorrow our answer is very different.
Wilderness Lodge also has this amazing lobby, and all of the rooms flow off that lobby, and each floor has a fireplace on it, and we would like sit there and eat breakfast in the morning at the fireplace, which was really cool.
So it'd be better when it's actually cool too.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though you still get the same feeling when it's 95.
What time of year are we talking?
It's always February.
What? We go in September too, usually.
And then recently started that one. Not this year.
Not this year. I'll stick with Coronado.
Coronado, and then I get Wilderness Lodge.
Would you rather do one bucket list trip a year or multiple trips on a budget with annual passes, staying at a value resort, or off property?
Oh. Trying to do your own life scenario.
What would you rather do?
Whose money were you talking here?
We're talking about our money.
On somebody else's money, we'll do option number 2.
Option number 2?
Yeah.
You would rather do one bucket list trip a year?
That was the first one you said.
No, one bucket list trip a year.
That was option 1.
Or multiple trips on a budget with annual passes.
That was option number 2.
Yeah.
I said 2.
I'm so confused. You don't want annual...
It's what you wanted me to say. That was option 2, the annual passes.
Oh, that's what you want?
Yeah.
Oh.
You say I was eliminating 2?
Huh?
I said I was picking 2. You thought I was eliminating option 2?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you wanted me to say. I said it.
Yes. I just think, well, we all know where I stand on this. Like, annual passes, more vacations.
So you get a shirt that says annual pass holder on it?
No, I don't want... Okay, when we have annual passes, I don't want, like, the shirts or, like, the fanfare of being annual pass holder. I just want to be able to go
Congratulations, you spent more money than anybody else.
Well, I just want to be able to go to Disney more, and to be able to... I tell Tony all the time, like, we have this podcast now. I plan Disney vacations. I create Disney content. Like, how magical would it be for our girls to get to go to Disney all the time?
Yep, our family's going to double in a couple of weeks, then we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So, and the girls are free right now anyway. So, like, why not?
Yeah, they're free to take with you, but they're not free.
No, they're not free. But they're free to take with you into the parks.
Free to strap on your chest.
They don't cost anything for food. They don't cost anything for park tickets, for resort stay. Nada.
For merchandise, unless we want them to get something.
No, and the girls already added to our My Disney Experience account. So see, they're good to go.
They already live in Disney already.
They do already live in
According to
Disney.
Disney, they're already there.
Yeah, they do. We were watching a vlog last night of Disney cruise, and I told Tony, I was like, I think the girls really want to go on a Disney cruise because they won't stop moving, and they never stop moving anyway, but that's just my excuse.
Would you rather ride Everest at Animal Kingdom or rock and roll at Hollywood Studios? You only get to ride one on your trip, and that is it. Both high-intensity roller coasters, one with a really big takeoff being rock and roll, the other Everest with a big drop, but they're both intense. One's inside, one's outside.
What's interesting is that's happened to us on that's happened both. One time we went and Everest was close to refurbishment, and one time we went and Rock and Roller was close to refurbishment. I'm trying to think of which one I missed more. I love both. Everest and Rock and Roller Coaster are two of my favorite rides, but if you don't get to ride Everest at Animal Kingdom doesn't feel the same, because that's like the one big thrill attraction there. If you don't get to ride Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios, it's still a really fun park. Like, there's still
if you
like
do the tower.
Well, yeah, but there's also Millennium Falcon. There's Star Tours. There's Slinky Dog Dash. Not that Slinky Dog Dash is like a huge thrill ride, but there's other things to do. At Everest, the only other thing to do is
So your answer is Everest.
Flight of Passage or Dinosaur. I'm going with Everest. What do you say?
And mine's rock and roll.
Every single answer.
Everyone.
The only one that we've been the same on is annual passes.
I like the
Maybe
drop.
that's a sign for the
but I'm
future.
not a huge drop person. For some reason, I don't get as not anxious, but as building up to Everest as I do. Or rock and roll doesn't do that for me. Everest kind of gives me more butterflies.
Tony, we got off Everest, I think, last time, and I think you said you were like, I don't think I like that ride very much.
I would say I need a drink.
No, you did. We always go to
The bar right outside there.
Yeah, I don't remember what bar it is. It's like to the left, like Everest
If you're looking
afterwards.
at Everest, it's to the left. If you're walking out, it's on the right.
When we went to Animal Kingdom one time, we were getting in line. We were in line to ride Everest, and this little boy was in front of us, and he was like telling his mom he didn't
And
want
we
to
were in the
ride. Yeah, he was telling his mom, he's like, I don't want to ride this, and she's like, if you don't want to ride it, or she said, if you don't like it, you don't ever have to ride it again, and if you don't like it, we'll get you an ice cream. And he's like, okay. And the whole time, kid's like, I don't want to ride it. I don't want to ride it. I don't want to ride it. We get onto the ride. They put him in the dead last or second to last car. And Everest starts out going forward, but then part of it reverses backwards. If you're in those back seats, it's way more intense. So if you've never ridden Everest before and you're kind of like, am I going to like this? Ask to be seated in the front or in the middle. And that kid, afterwards, we saw him with his ice cream later on.
I don't think they knew that you could do the rider swap. They
No.
probably figured we're going to ride it all together, or we're not going to get someone's not going to ride it. He's going to have to sit out with them.
Yeah, that's a good tip. If you've never been to Disney before, you can do rider swap on all of the attractions at Disney, which we'll probably do a lot with the girls in the future. So if they don't want to ride something, if they're napping or something like that, one of you can ride it, and the other one stays with the kids, and then the other one gets to ride it while they stay with
I
the
think
kids.
that one has a single rider, so if you're single,
It does, yeah.
They'll put you in a car.
Yeah, single rider goes really quick on it.
Moving on. What do you got?
Would you rather go to Roundup Rodeo Barbecue or Shiki Sai Sushi Izakaya?
Never been to either.
I know, that's why I asked. So both of these restaurants are new dining locations at Walt Disney World.
Rodeo Roundup Barbecue.
Rodeo Roundup Barbecue is a prefix meal at Hollywood Studios, all themed around Toy Story. It's, of course, barbecue. Or Shiki Sai Sushi Izakaya is in the Japan Pavilion at Epcot. I would say, so your answer is Rodeo Roundup
Easy.
Barbecue. Roundup Rodeo Barbecue. I don't know. I'll go with Roundup Rodeo Barbecue, too. I'm excited to go to both, but I think I'm more excited for Roundup Rodeo.
And Was it Hishishiki? That's an expensive one too, right?
Shiki size sushi is a kind. It's not necessarily expensive. Like they have like this huge sushi boat you can get. You don't have to get that.
Oh yeah, that thing is $94.
No, it's $300.
$300.
It's supposed to
on
feed.
sale.
Supposed to feed like 8 to 10, but it doesn't look very big.
2 to 3.
Shiki size sushi is a kind of what I have heard about that restaurant.
Shishikishi.
It's on the second floor of the Japan Pavilion, and it's looking out at World Showcase Lagoon. So if you dine there during the fireworks, you can see the fireworks from there. But I've heard people say that the food is really good. But Roundup Rodeo Barbecue, it's all themed around Toy Story. And that's so much fun.
Want the experience.
Yeah, and right now with the girls, Tony, like we always say, like, Andy's coming because, like, when Tony touches my belly, the girls, like, instantly get still. So one of the things they do in that restaurant is periodically they'll be like, Andy's coming, and everybody in the restaurant has to stay still. Like, the waiters, the guests, everybody, like, goes into, like, plays the part and, like, stays still.
Yeah, that when you get the experience. The other one, you just get a fancy restaurant.
True.
Would you rather, just think of it however the scenario is going to work for it, but would you rather ride the Skyliner or boat as the only transportation?
I don't think I could do the boat every day. I'd have to do the Skyliner.
Yeah, me too.
Well, but that means you're only going to Hollywood Studios and Epcot?
That's why I said, however scenario works out, I'm not going to even think about it, but however scenario where you stay, which one would you rather ride and not miss the other one?
I guess if you ride the boat every day, you're limited to either Hollywood Studios and Epcot or Magic Kingdom. So either way, I would say the Skyliner. I like the Skyliner.
And riding a boat at the Magic Kingdom.
True. I would say the Skyliner. What would you say?
Yep.
I already know your answer.
High in the sky.
So we agree on 2 of these.
Welcome to Disney's Magic.
Actually 3.
Skyliner.
Welcome aboard the Disney Skyliner system. Right now, we're gliding over Lake Buena Vista Street.
Sit back, relax. We'll have you there shortly.
I love the Skyliner. Except sometimes when it's a little windy, I just think to myself, I won't fall. I won't fall. I won't fall.
I just don't even think, because we're not going anywhere. So if we fall, we're going to be really rich.
The first time we got on the Skyliner, there was a girl. It was like the second time we rode it or something. There was a girl. She told us that, remember? She was like, they would never let anybody fall from this thing because their families would be really rich. And every time I think about that.
Our pockets would be loaded. Annual passes for sure.
Yeah. Then
You got one more?
No, I have no more.
You have no more. One more. Would you rather? This is like kind of the first and the last one I have are pretty much kind of like 1-2 heavy hitters.
Okay.
This one you've never even thought of your entire life. Would you rather spend the night in Animal Kingdom or Hollywood Studios?
You know my answer.
Thinking about the animals and everything around the atmosphere.
Animal Kingdom, I feel like would actually be really creepy at night.
That's what I'm saying. It's be fun. You're thinking about the animals getting out and eating you.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a hard pass for me. And where would you stay? At the tree in the Tree of Life?
Under the tree in the theater.
I would say Hollywood Studios.
Sleeping dinosaur.
Hollywood Studios, and I would sleep in one of those buildings at the front of Hollywood Studios.
Just nobody's there.
That would be cool. Could you ride the rides all night?
I didn't get that far in my head. You're riding a dinosaur by yourself.
Ooh. That's creepy. I would still go Hollywood Studios. What would you say? Animal Kingdom. Where would you sleep?
It's hard too.
Where would you sleep?
Under the tree.
Under the tree.
Or right outside the tree. Projections are on. I'm laying on the ground.
Would you sleep in the It's a Bug's Life theater?
With all the noises, or Avatar. Sleep in Avatar.
Yeah. See, if you stayed at Magic Kingdom.
All the noises over there in the area.
If you stayed
sleep in the boat. Navi Ruby Journey.
If you stayed at Magic Kingdom, you could sleep in the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse.
That wasn't an option.
See, okay. I have one more because I didn't come up with as many as Johnny.
One of mine.
Would you rather stay at Magic Kingdom in Cinderella's Castle Suite or sleep in Swiss Family Robinson treehouse?
Treehouse.
Me too.
Why?
Because the treehouse just seems more fun. Everybody wants to stay in
Has beds up there too?
Everybody wants to stay in the Cinderella Castle
I
suite.
guess it has beds.
And I think that that's cool, but it just seems so, like, fancy to me. And the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse just seems more fun.
It's a tomboy answer.
Why?
You picked that one over the Cinderella's castle.
Well, you can't see out. To me, that's weird.
It's everyone's bucket list.
I know, it's everybody's bucket list. They want to stay in the Cinderella Castle suite. And I'm like, meh.
Okay. And it's the one coming.
But did you know that the Cinderella Castle suite was actually supposed to be Walt's apartment at Disney World? But he wasn't alive when Disney World opened, so...
Then just make money off it.
They actually turned it into, it was like a call center for Disney for a while. And then it was like a storage area, and then they turned it into Cinderella Castle Suite. And now, like, celebrities can stay there, or, like, I don't think Make-A-Wish can stay there. Maybe they can. Or, like, if you win some type of, like, Disney sweepstakes.
The price is right. Anybody can stay there.
Yeah.
How much money you got? Let's think about it.
True. True.
So tell us your answers to these questions.
Yeah.
Write us your own questions for next time.
Yeah. So head over to our Instagram and tell us what your answers were to these questions. I'm going to post all the questions there, and I want to know your opinion on them. So,
where are you spending the night if you had a choice?
Yeah, and also let us know if this podcast was fun to listen to. As always, go ahead and give us a rating or review on your favorite podcast platform, and we will see you here next week.
See you.